Welcome back to Advertising Champions and Daily Ad Brief. I'm your host, Mike White, and on Advertising Champions, we're meeting with experts in the industry, talking about tips, tricks, trends, and technologies, and all the amazing things that are going on that changes the industry. Join us today is Marianne Jacobs from Marianne Jacobs Consulting. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
So you have been in consulting, media, marketing, advancement for pretty much your entire career.
I know. Sometimes I wonder if it's just time to rest, but
there's no time to rest.
Right. Someone said retirement is not a real word. So yes, I was an executive, a retired executive with the telecom industry, and at that point had a cable ad sales group underneath me, and retired from that career, went to the Girl Scouts for Gateway Council, North Florida, recently retired, and bringing years of a lot of what's up here to the marketplace.
So when you transferred out of the telecom into the Girl Scouts, what was the most difficult thing in the transition that you had to overcome?
So I'm very driven by corporate America and business acumen, and that culture is very important to me. And so the culture of a nonprofit organization is typically, and again, I don't want to broad base, but it's typically don't spend any money. Mm-hmm. And I believe that you need to spend money to make money and to market our product as well. So that was a large transition for me. And then we started to build the culture with a really great hybrid of for-profit or private sector and nonprofit, so that we were we had a greater use of our gifts and our donations, our grants, and a much better steward.
It's interesting watching in the not-for-profit sector how those that treat them and run them like businesses seem to help more people. They raise more money, but a lot of people from the outside will look in and say, well, it's a not-for-profit. You shouldn't pay your executives. You shouldn't pay your staff. What's the reason that a lot of them lose the good people mm-hmm. and can't serve as many?
True, exactly. So when I came in, the Girl Scout Council was struggling, like a lot of nonprofits struggle. And so I was hired to come in, bring in some business acumen, really what are the business processes, and so that we could sustain the organization. And any CEO should be focused on sustaining the organization. And therefore, Girl Scouts or whatever the organization is can continue to serve individuals and be a better community partner.
So now that you've retired and you've started your own company, who do you want to serve in the next career?
So I've thought a lot about this and prayed a lot about it, to be honest with you. The nonprofit environment needs some assistance. Some nonprofits are running very well, but so does the for-profit need some assistance. So I hope to marry that and create a hybrid situation where a private sector organization may be developing a giving strategy, for example, and how do they support the community. And so I'd like to be able to help that organization. But from the nonprofit side, it's also bringing in the business processes and capacity building. Oftentimes the CEO, private sector or nonprofit, it's lonely at the top. And so to have someone and another set of eyes and just walk beside an executive with my 30-some years of experience and really share that. I firmly believe that that's what we're called to do.
And the biggest thing is you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of times business owners or executives are so much in the weeds mm-hmm. that having that outside perspective is very helpful. In terms of the leadership traits that you think companies need that you could help them develop, what would some of those be?
So I'm very much a servant. You know, the servant leader is but I believe that is, let's just say I've worked for some very different people. And all through my career, I have said, oh, I like that trait. Or, oh, that's not going to work. So I believe that caring, listening, and really hearing what your staff need. For example, post-COVID and post-pandemic, you know, there are so many people and qualified people who really stepped back myself and said, you know what, this is kind of nice, this hybrid in the office 1 day a week. So I also have the experience of bringing some ideas about, how do we create that environment where we're still very productive, yet we're meeting the needs of staff. We know the pandemic has impacted women much more greater than it has men, because they take the role of possibly homeschooling, and then all of the other situations that came with their children are at home, their daycares have closed or whatever. And so how can we create, and it's a paradigm shift, but how can we create an environment, and I want to help do this, where everybody's happy. The company's making making money. The revenue is growing. The impact is immense. Yet staff are also very productive and happy.
Can people be just as productive at home working in a company environment as they can in the office?
Some people can be very productive in that environment, but not everyone can be. So you really have to make sure that you're hiring the right people. And there are tools out there to determine who's a self-starter, who's going to get up in the morning and start their day, and get dressed and get ready for the day. Some individuals need to be told what to do every day and how to do it. And that's why we're all created differently. So I think in the hybrid environment, yes, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the program today and letting us know a little bit more about what you're doing. And thank you for all you've done for the not-for-profit sector. You made a huge impact, I know, in the Jacksonville market and on the Girl Scouts.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mike, very much. Thanks.
To find out more about Mary Jacobs Consulting, visit us at dailyadbrief.com. We look forward to seeing you next time on Advertising Champions.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.